let me just put it this way. We'll talk about it more, but what we are covering right now is kind of half of the equation. Why is it such a problem that we think our way? We start thinking a lot in a low state of mind. Well, one of the problems is because, as I just mentioned, we don't really have good clarity as to the quality of our thinking. Right? In a higher state, my thought quality is better. You can feel it. It's not this churning. It's kind of thoughts are flowing better. Okay. But the second thing is, when I think my way through, when I try to think my way out of stuff, when I'm not doing well, it's kind of analogous to when I'm stuck in a ditch with my car and I want to hit the gas because it looks like that's going to get me out of the ditch. What does it usually end up doing? It just digs a deeper rut and makes a bigger mess, right? So you see, here's one half of it, and we'll talk about the other half of it as we go along, but one half of it is, in terms of your question, people perpetuate their creation, their low-state creations, their illusions, by going over and over and over the same thing, and believing that they're actually looking at it clearly. Okay? And once again, if you don't see this in yourself, look at somebody you know. Okay? You'll see it there. Okay? People get unbelievably convinced by what it is that they're making up if they don't have this understanding. And by thinking about it over and over and mulling it and dwelling on it and analyzing it, right, they actually perpetuate. You're bringing more of this low state thinking, and it's kind of like a toilet bowl. It's like a whirlpool. It's what I call, it's like an emotional reaction spiral. You just go down, and you keep it alive. Okay. So the amazing thing is, we have the ability to create wonderful experience for ourselves, negative experience for ourselves. There's tremendous freedom in that. Why do so many people create negativity for themselves that can last them a lifetime? The reason is because they're constantly recreating it. They're recreating it every moment. How are they recreating it? By never recognizing what they're trapped in. It's like they're in the whirlpool and they keep paddling harder and harder. You paddle harder in the whirlpool, you go down faster. Right? They're just paddling harder and harder. They're not realizing it's the classic example, and this is what I said about the Yetzer Hara to begin with, right? The Yetzer Hara doesn't work hard, it works smart. The Yetzer Hara understands that there's a very powerful desire inside of a human being to do good, to be good, and we have all of our drive is to do that. So the Yetzer Hara actually takes the very best intentions that we have and the hard work and essentially makes us work too hard. We work way too hard, I'm suggesting. I'm a very good teacher this way. I don't give you hard work to do. I'm telling you to stop working so hard. Okay? It's refreshing. You got to admit. Okay? I'm suggesting we work way too hard, and as we work too hard, we perpetuate and create over and over again. Over and over again, though. Right? See, the thing about the irony of the way we create is we are creating it and we're recreating it. It's like, as I said, we're like mini gods. Just like God's creation is every moment recreated, so too our creation is every moment recreated. If you're experiencing it, it's because you're creating it now, in the moments. Okay? If it's not the past is gone, the future hasn't happened yet. We recreate it every moment, and then we believe that that's the proof that it's real. Right? So right? It must be real. It's been around for so long. You know why I can't stand my mother-in-law? Do you know what she said to me the day of the wedding, 35 years ago? Right? Do you have any idea? Right? So 35 years, I'm creating for myself a world where my mother-in-law is this alien, nasty being, right? Where she's the evil one, you know, she's the enemy, right? Never once questioning the fact that maybe my entire perspective is skewed. And my proof of the fact that it's not is because look how long it's been around, 35 years. And all of this is because we're not looking at the feeling. The feeling would tell us right away. The feeling would tell us right away. You're distorted. You're lost. You are not seeing things from a good place. Yeah.
Well, in that example, what should you be looking at?
The negativity. The negativity is your guide. Yes.
I'm a
I'll
little
explain it. Yeah.
confused too.
Yeah.
So you stop, you notice your negative feeling, which is a thought process.
No, not really. I mean, it's not a thought. I mean, yes, it is, but it's not a thought process of analysis. In other words, I'm not interested.
With that feeling going on, that's good. I like that. But then when you
What I'm saying is, it's very easy for me to see that I'm in a negative place. I don't need to do a lot of analysis for that. When I see that, I already know I'm heading in the wrong direction. Period.
And then do you say, okay, I just let it happen, or do you say, let me try to change my feelings?
Part of this is why we have to go to next week, because it's a bigger picture, but there's a half of the picture that I haven't brought out yet, because I have to have something to talk about next week. But what I'm suggesting for the moment is even this is really all you need to know. You see, it comes back again to knowing that I create my reality as opposed to thinking that my reality is reality. If I know that I create it, then I can start to ask myself the question, what kind of reality am I creating? Where am I living life from? Not what does life look like, right? In other words, not what's the problem, but how am I doing? How am I doing? Is a much more important question than what's the problem. And that's what I find for myself, since I've come to see this. What I found is it used to look to me like I had problems. Okay, this is going to sound a little strange. It used to look to me like I have problems. Now it looks to me like I'm not doing very well. Okay, that's a very big difference. To me, in the pit, it's like that's a problem. I got a problem. I don't know about you, but I don't like problems. Problems are really not in my control. They're big. They're scary a lot of times, right? Now it's like, how am I doing? Remember, I talked about this last week. When Adam ate from that fruit, what did God say? He didn't say, Adam, you're crazy. What are you hiding from me for? He says, Ayeka, where are you? Right? You created another world. What world are you living in? That's the question. That's what I'm suggesting right here. Ayeka, you have to ask yourself, Ayeka, where are you living life from? Not what does life look like. Where are you? That's the key question. The rest of it is actually irrelevant. We'll talk about it more. But yeah.
I'm getting this sense that you're saying that you notice this state, you know it's not so great, and you say, well, the thing was, the story with the mother-in-law is this anger.
That's right.
And like, the obvious answer is, well, then is there some way to focus on positive feeling? I don't mean.
You don't have to. That's what I'm going to talk about next week. There's a second half of this. See, I'm just sort of like, Jews say, sur me rava ase tov, turn away from bad and do good. Today's talk is kind of turn away from bad. Next talk is kind of the do good piece. There's a sort of a negative and a positive piece to this. What I'm talking about tonight is sort of where we really blow it, I believe. Okay. Then I'm going to talk about next week why you don't really have to think positive thoughts. Yeah.
There's a line that Abraham Avinu repeats 3 or 4 times that I always kind of wondered, why did he keep saying it? And I'm wondering if it doesn't fit in. It's this every time Shem talks to him, or even Yitzchak talks to him, he says, "Here I am," or "I am here," and and it's this sense of being present, knowing. I don't know if it's knowing, but being connected or something to where he's maybe I'm guessing in essence doing some of what maybe you're suggesting, which is to say, I'm not listening to any voices, I'm not on any downward spiral, I'm right here where I know I'm supposed to be, and going through the 9th and 10th, if not both, of his 10 challenges, which I think maybe gives me some maybe insight on that. I don't know what you think.
Interesting. I would Greg's on a roll tonight. I would.
He's our next scholar in residence. He doesn't know yet.